What's up, guys? Marty Sleva here, and we are going to do a little bit of a rewind to the Death Stranding reveal teaser, which premiered during Sony's E3 2016 press conference. Obviously, Hideo Kojima came out and showed you, like, hey, this is the project I've been working on. It's very far away, but here's a bit of a tease. Yeah, this is naked Norman Reedus and Norman Fetus, but we're going to go back to the beginning and dissect this a little bit. The trailer begins with a quote from William Blake, who's an English poet. This sort of sets a tone piece, but also is kind of giving us hints as to what this game is about. We know Kojima just recently got an engine, so it's very far off. But the idea of a different world, the idea of the infinite, the idea of eternity, and so I'm really curious to see where Kojima, sort of takes this project. Now we know he's involved with Norman Reedus again. He's not involved with Guillermo del Toro. But we see in this trailer we begin on the Black Sands, and we see all these dead crustaceans and dead animals. And this is actually a phenomenon that's real in reality. It's called the cetacean stranding, which is where sea mammals actually end up on the beach and they end up dead, and it's this phenomenon that's not quite been explained, but it's something where whales will appear just beached and they've sort of done it themselves and they appear dead on land. And so with the word stranding also appearing in the title of the game, you would figure that has some sort of symbolism or connection to that. And now we know just that first little gleam of the handcuffs. These aren't regular handcuffs. The glow in them sort of show us that they're futuristics of some sorts. They're from another place. They're from another world. And when we first see Norman Reedus, it's almost like he himself just came out of the womb. He's naked, he's confused, he's in a fetal position, and then next to him is this baby who's still connected by this weird cyber umbilical cord. And it's really funny that Norman Reedus and then this baby were both prominently featured in the PT demo. Norman Reedus obviously at the end, but the baby being an integral part. In the bathroom scenes. And you have this moment where he picks it up and he's holding it close to him. It's a very strange, very, very unnerving moment. But we also see that Reedus his character has these dog tags on. And so you're wondering, there's sort of these futuristic dog tags that, upon closer examination, have a series of equations on them. And so just these super in-depth, physics and mathematics equations. And so people are speculating, what does this mean? Is this game going to be sci-fi? Is this game going to be horror? And Kojima has said it's action before, but knowing Hideo Kojima, knowing his pedigree, it's not just going to be action. There's going to be some heady ideas in here, which we see with the handprints on the sand, the handprints on his body. They almost act as tattoos of his past, as ghosts of things he's done. And I don't know if these are hands of sort of the hands that brought him into this world, whatever the hell it is. But he picks up this baby and he has a bond to it. He knows what this is, and he's emotional. I don't know if he's saying to himself, we made it, or we're still alive, but you can see the anguish in his face. And this is something that Kojima has throughout the years has really grown as a artist, and we saw the facial technology in Phantom Pain was incredible. I'm sure in Silent Hills it would have been the same, and so this is just an addition to this with his new company. And we have this moment here where it's gone. And you see the fear, the confusion in Reedus's eyes as he looks at his hands, and the child that's in front of him is gone. And then you have this black liquid that almost feels like if it's a virus or some sort of a plague. And then you see the baby or whatever it was, if it was an actual baby, because there was that cyber cord connected to it, sort of gone. The really interesting thing here is you see that this baby came from him. This was pulled from Reedus himself, and so apart from the story itself from this game, you can't help but wonder if this trailer is a bit of an allegory for Hideo Kojima himself and his relationship with Konami and ultimately his falling out. If this baby represents, PT, his career, Metal Gear, his 30-year legacy in the games industry, this game is him forcibly removing it from his body and placing it on the ground before him and saying, I'm done with this. I'm moving on. This is the next chapter of my life, which is a terrifying thing to do when you think of 3 decades in a single world with a single voice and having to create something wholly new. But then there's a pride that you see in Reedus' character right here as he stands up and confronts the absolutely terrifying unknown that we're about to see. And when we cut to the next shot, you see that it's these figures floating in the air above the ocean, and it's hard to we don't know what they are. You see all these cetaceans, you see all these creatures that have left the ocean, they've left their home, and they've tried to come on land, and obviously they've failed, they've died, they're rotting corpses, and then you have these five figures that exist, in the skies in the background as Regis is looking on to them, and you have to wonder. I don't know if this is the tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist in me, but do these five figures represent, the five games in Hideo Kojima's, Metal Gear Solid series, and this are these five figures his legacy that he is leaving behind. And as he stares at them, there's sort of a fear and an awe and a spectacle, but at the same time, there's a bit of a bravery in Regis' character as he stares at these unknown but ultimately terrifying figures. So that was 5 minutes of sounding completely insane about Death Stranding, which is Hideo Kojima's game, which will ultimately probably be out in like 2019. I don't know, we're a ways off. But everyone here is super excited about Death Stranding. We're going to be keeping a close eye on it throughout the coming months, years, hopefully not decades. So for everything else, Death Stranding, Sony, and Weird Invisible Babies, you're already in the right place, IGN.com.